Hey everyone, welcome to my monthly making podcast. My name is Marina and I am the creator and owner of Pineapple Yarn. This is a video podcast where I share everything I have been working on in the past month. And yeah, it has been really busy here. Do I say that every month? I think I might. So this month, May, has just been so crazy. I think those of you who have kids in school will understand. It's a lot. So, yeah, I have been crafting all month though. I've been doing some really random things that are very unusual, tying up some long-term projects. So that's really, really exciting. So thank you for joining me today. And yeah, let's get started talking about everything I have been working on. So the first thing this is something I'm usually working on, and I've been working on this pair of socks for a long time, but I finally finished them. So I don't think I've shown these yet. I know I posted them on Instagram, but this is, I've got something on them. But these are a pair of socks. They are hybrid knit socks, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But this beautiful yarn is called Serendipity. It's by Tia's Terrific Threads. I love her yarn. It's self-striping. And the accent is Princess by Pineapple Yarn, one of my favorites. And I love the way these turned out. I made them matching. They're so cute. So I've been working on these for a while. I kind of go through waves of just getting really into socks and then going and doing other things. But I was really, my sock knitting mojo took a nosedive. It was like at an all-time high, January, February, and then, March and April started and it just went down. I think it's because of the warmer weather. But I finally just got these done and I love them. I love the way they turned out. So cute. So the way I knit these is how I've been knitting my socks for quite a while. These are what I call hybrid knit socks. What I do is I knit the body of the sock on my Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster, which is a circular sock machine. And it is basically a little hand crank machine that knits a tube of knitted fabric. And then what I do is I just add the cuff, which is a 2x2 rib. And then I cut in the heel, which is just a true afterthought heel. And I add the toe. So I'm still working on the video about this. I actually sat down and edited almost the whole thing, and I just don't know how happy I am with it. The footage looks really good, but I was just really chatty. It's a really long video, so I'm not sure if I'm going to finish editing it or not. Anyway, that's an aside. I got these done. I love them. 60 stitches around. The heel and toe are the same, just short row heel and toe. Basically, you're just decreasing on both of them until I have 16 stitches on both needles, and then I just graph them together. And then on the cuff, I did Jeny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. I will list it all below, but this is how I knit all of my socks, basically. So I was excited to get these done. I thought they were really pretty. The next finished object, I'm actually going to insert a video here. This was my prayer shawl lap robe that I periodically knit for folks who are going through a hard time emotionally, physically. And I use acrylic yarn, which is very interesting because I never use acrylic yarn on my projects, but just for the ease of care, I use acrylic yarn, and I was really surprised how this project blocked out. I actually steam blocked it. It was shocking. So I'll insert the video here, but all my details I'll also list below. It was basically a feather and fan pattern, but it was crocheted, and maybe a ripple stitch. Maybe that's what it's called in crochet. I love the way this turned out though. I never knew that you could block acrylic, but what I've been doing is just putting whatever object it is on my ironing board and then just giving it a quick steam, hot steam with an iron. Don't let the iron touch your acrylic or it'll melt. But I just give it a hot steam and I kind of just hand block it, and it makes it so drapey. And the fabric, the resulting fabric is so nice. And so I don't know, I'd imagine that the acrylic would stay that way for a long time because it is, I don't know if it's kind of melting the acrylic. I don't really know, but it gives it a beautiful drape. So hopefully it holds its shape, and it's already off to someone who needs it. And I will put the yarn, I don't even remember the yarn now. It's a great yarn brand that I use for everything. I've been talking about this for this project for a while. So I'll put all the details below, but I just wanted to show you the finished object. I finished it several weeks ago, so earlier in May. So when projects are done, they just kind of escape my brain and I don't remember what they are unless I write them down. So I just wanted to show you the finished resulting prayer shawl. I thought it turned out really, really pretty. I also do want to mention that I did a single crochet stitch all the way around the prayer shawl, which I thought finished it off really nicely. Just finished it off and made it, helped it keep its shape a little better. Okay. I have another finished object, which is, this is been a long time in the making, and I don't think I've ever shown you the process of this. So about 3 years ago, really 4 to 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to teach myself how to quilt because I don't have enough crafts to do, clearly. So I joined a Block of the Month club, which I thought was really fun. Still not done with that. I bought some jelly rolls, which are just pre-cut strips of fabric, and that was really fun. And I found this pattern, and it's I don't know where I found it. It's very basic, and it used maybe a jelly roll, and then I had some pre-cut squares, and I added some squares, and my daughter and I sewed up a quilt top, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So we sewed up this quilt top, and if you can see, each block was a square, and then you took 2 pieces, longer pieces of your jelly rolls, sewed those together, and then 2 shorter pieces and sewed those together. Now I think what we did is we probably sewed strips together and then made long strips and maybe cut them into the correct pieces. I don't remember. But we ended up with blocks like this, and then continued that same motif, or that same process for the whole quilt top. And our whole goal was to make a quilt for her bed, just a twin size bed. And I never got it finished. And what I wanted to do is, because I had no idea about quilting, obviously we pieced it, we got the quilt top together, but I just didn't know how to stitch it down. I didn't understand any of that. And so fast forward 3 years, 4 years, it was getting to be her birthday, and I was cleaning out. I keep all my craft things pretty cleaned out, and I know what's there, but I decided to revisit one bin that I have, one tote that I have, and it was, actually I have 2 quilt tops that are finished. I have one top that is pieced. It has the batting in the middle, batting, I guess is what it's called. And it has a back, and it just needs to be stitched. It's crazy, it's almost done. But I'm just really intimidated by it because I'd never done it and I didn't want to mess it up, and it just seemed like it was going to be a big undertaking. And then I ran into the point because I wanted to send it out and have it finished, but I just didn't think that the top was sewn well enough for it to be sent out and quilted. You know, in hindsight, because I ended up finishing the quilt myself, in hindsight, it probably is fine, but there's just a lot to learn about quilting, and it was really fun. I don't think it'll ever become my primary craft, but it was really fun, and my daughter helped me sew it. She just turned 12, so she was really young when she helped me piece this top. So all I did is I sandwiched everything together. I purchased a walking foot for my machine and like a little guide to go with it, which is kind of an investment, not going to lie. Like, that was kind of an expensive walking foot, but I figured I've got another quilt top to do. So now there's no excuses, no barriers. This is the back, and I just did, I think you can see that. I just did straight stitching through the whole thing because I needed to get it done. I needed to get this project done. I wanted to get it done by her birthday. And so I did. I ended up giving this to her for her birthday. She was so surprised because she probably thought it fell into the depths of crafting black hole. I don't know. But I'll stand up and show you. It's so cute though. I used a couple of different brands of fabrics, which I'll link below because I'll list it below. I don't really remember what they were. But this is how it turned out. It's a really good size quilt. It fits on her bed. And it's just, there's some really cute prints in here. Like, this is my favorite right here, is this tiger print. It's so cute. But then even like this one has honeycomb on it. And I'll show you the back, which is really cute. The back has these little honeybees. And I don't know what these are. Maybe they look like pheasants. These birds right here. And then sunflowers as well. So it's just a really cute pattern. Really cute fabric patterns. Some of these weren't in the collections at all. Like, I think one of these green ones, I just had some scrap fabric. This one right here was just scrap fabric that I added to it. So that adds a little bit of fun and just kind of different. So I think it turned out so pretty. I'm really proud of it. You know what I'm really proud of is that I got it finished. That's what I'm most proud of. It is not perfect by any stretch. It is definitely not perfect. But I learned a lot, and I didn't really use a tutorial or anything. I kind of just did it on my own. One thing that I did is I wrapped the backing when I was cutting everything out. You know, I had the quilt top, and then underneath that I had the, I guess, batting. I can't think of another word for it. And then the back of the quilt, I actually cut maybe an inch wider all the way around. And then I just folded it twice and then stitched it on the top. I'd imagine that's called a self-binding or something. I have no idea. because I know I've seen quilt patterns where they actually cut strips and sew it to the back or sew it to the front, depending on how you want to make it, and then, you know, folding it over. But I just thought, I have plenty of fabric on the back, why don't I just cut this extra and then just fold it twice and stitch it? So that's what I did. And really, I was really surprised once I got everything stitched. I was really surprised just how quickly the process went, and within a weekend I had finished it. And then I kind of felt bad that it took that long for me to get it finished, but it's always nice to have a deadline to finish these things and to get them out. She was thrilled. She loves it so much and has it on her bed, and yeah. So I just want to show you because it was something I finished. I was very excited. But yeah, I would definitely sew a quilt again. It's just these long projects are, they're long. They're long. I like bite-sized projects, like socks or something quick. But this was fun. This was a good accomplishment, and I have a small stash of fabric for quilting because fabric is just so beautiful. But I do have a small stash of fabric, pre-cuts, that I will sew quilts from someday. And yeah, but for now, this was really good. Maybe someday I will finish that other quilt that just needs to be finished. All right, so let's go on to finished objects, or works in progress. I did get, this is an almost finished object, but it's still a work in progress. I have just been having such a hard time finishing this cardigan. I don't know what it is. I think it's the purling, but I did get it finished. I got it completely knitted. I finally just told myself I need to just work on it every day. And I did, and surprisingly, I got it done. It's amazing what consistency does. But it doesn't look like much. It's all curled still. I haven't blocked it. The ends are out. But this is for my 9-year-old daughter. And it's just so hot. It's really hot here right now. It's gotten really hot in the past month. So she definitely wants nothing to do with a cardigan. That's for sure. So I have a little bit of time to finish it up, which is great. This is Neon Confetti DK, which is a base that I carry in my shop, and it's the colorway Lemon, and it always shows up so bright on camera, but it has all this really pretty neon tweed, which I think I mentioned in the last video, we tested, and all the tweed glows under a black light, which is super cool. The yarn itself doesn't, but the tweed does, so that was really fun. So my plan for this is to weave in the ends and block it and get it all situated, and then I got buttons for it, but this is where my dilemma is, and this is where I'm kind of at a standstill on this project. This is a Petite Knit pattern. I think it's called the Ellen cardigan. I'll link it below. And it was a great project. I totally just blew through the body. I wanted to add there's little pockets right here on the front. Totally blew past that. I just did, which is fine. But I bought these cute buttons. And they're just little plastic heart buttons with 2 holes in them. And I think there's maybe 10 in here. And I want to use them for this. The problem is that this cardigan did not have buttonholes as you go, which is how I've always knit cardigans, because I've never knit a buttoned cardigan for myself. So they've always been child size, and as you're knitting, a built-in button band, you'll just do you know, a yarn over, knit two together, and then continue to knit. And it leaves a little hole in the fabric, which you can use for a buttonhole, especially for this size of button. It works perfectly. But in this case, I decided to just follow the pattern. Petite knit patterns are written very well. And I don't want to say that I'm regretting it at this point, but I just wish that I knew then what I know now, knowing that I don't want to go back and sew buttonholes. What the pattern says to do is, you know, go into the button band and basically take, I don't even know what you're supposed to take, and sew a hole in the fabric for the button. I just can't imagine this is going to work. Obviously, I haven't read the instructions very well, because it's just like, I can't believe this. So here's my options. Option one is just to try it and see where that process goes. My second option is to really consider whether my daughter is going to be wearing this buttoned up. I designed this so she could wear it over dresses. So how cute is this? That's the way the button will look on the sweater. I don't, you know, would it be nice to have the option to button up? I think it would be nice, but I don't really know if she's going to be wearing it buttoned ever. It's more of a cropped shape, so it's more comfortable over a dress. And I mean, it's just not, for the amount of time she's just not going to wear it a ton. She has pullover sweaters. She has plenty of pullover sweaters because she's my fourth daughter. So she has lots of big sister hand-me-downs as far as sweaters go. So yes, I am just not sure where to go with this. I think in the pattern, the fabric had a strand of mohair silk in the garment, and so they used that strand of mohair silk to actually stitch the buttonholes. It just seems really fussy to me. I don't like fussy knitting, at least right now I don't. So I have a feeling if I ask my daughter if she wants to be able to button it up, I think she'll say yes. But I'm wondering if I just sew buttons on one side, you know, the side that they normally would be, and I don't put the buttonholes, she could wear it and try it out, and maybe she'll never miss the buttonholes. That's always an option too. So I don't know. We'll have to see where I go with that. But I do like the buttonholes. They turned out really sturdy. You can tell that they're turning in, so that will have to be blocked. I think it'll block out really great. But overall, this was a good pattern. I'll keep you updated what I decide to do, but I think that's probably what I'll do right now. Sew the ends in, block it, sew the buttons on one side, and just leave the buttonholes. Just ignore them for now. The yarn itself is beautiful. I love the neon confetti DK. It's just a beautiful base and really fun to knit with. So that's that. Done with cardigans. Done with that cardigan. And now I'm feeling like I want a cardigan for myself. I would love just an oversized, kind of chunky cardigan to throw on over things. Just super comfortable. But we'll see. I definitely do not want to knit anything large right now. It is really getting warm here. I am working on a pair of socks and I'm almost finished. And I think they're turning out super cool. So I actually have one. I think one is completely finished except for the ends. So I will put it on a sock blocker here so you can get a better look at it. This is a hybrid sock. So exactly the way I knit my other socks that I showed earlier. And they're turning out really great. So here's the one I have finished except for the ends. Look how cool those are. I love this yarn so much. So this is a hybrid sock. So I knit this on my circular sock machine, and then I hand knit all of these accents. This colorway is the March 2025 colorway from Pineapple Yarn. I still have some of this in the shop, and I just look at all those different colors. How fun is that? I just think that turned out so pretty. And I added Bright Mint, which is also a Pineapple Yarn tonal colorway, Bright Mint for the cuffs and the toes. Now I was going to do the heels in that colorway as well, but I ended up only with this much tiny bit left after I did both socks. So I dug through my stash and I found this colorway, which is stunning. I love this colorway. This is, I think it's called Passionate. Is this Passionate? From Pineapple Yarn. It is a colorway that I don't dye. It's a tonal that I don't dye very often because it's so deep and so rich. So it's definitely more of like a fall, autumnal colorway, winter colorway. It's so, so pretty. And I thought it would be pretty with the purple that is in the main colorway. So I've got this heel done except for the ends, which I have not woven in yet. And then the final sock, you can kind of see how I knit it. So I actually did the heel and toe, and I am doing, or not the heel and toe, the cuff and toe, and I am knitting the heel now. The way I knit the heel, which I kind of alluded to with the other pair of socks, but basically I knit 2 rounds just plain stockinette stitch, and then I decrease. I knit one, do a decrease, knit all the way across, decrease, and then knit one, and I do that on the back needle too. And I am knitting these magic loop on a 2.25 millimeter needle. I use an Addy Rocket needle, which is 24 inches long, I think. So these are turning out really well. This will take no time at all. This will be very fast. Oh, and I should show you my stitch marker. It's so cute. This is from my Camellia Tea Time kit. I think I have a few of these in the shop. And it's a porcelain, a blue and white porcelain teacup, which is adorable. So, so pretty. It's my favorite stitch marker right now. So these just need to be finished up and almost done with those. But like I said, I haven't had a lot of sock knitting mojo, I guess. I am working on a specific project that I am loving so much. So let me show you that. This is my last work in progress. This one is just, I'm loving it so much. So right now, currently what I'm working on is a test knit from Ambah O'Brien, and it is called Neon Sunshine. And I actually dyed up kits for this as well, which I will have in the shop. I'm not sure if I'm going to put them in the shop during my June update, which is June 6th. I may do that. But there's 2 iterations of this pattern, and I am knitting a square, the square size. But here it is so far. I think this is stunning, like so gorgeous. And it is going to be, like I said, it's like a big square. It's fingering weight yarn. This is on my Lonnie sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. nice all around 4-ply fingering weight yarn. And what I did is I dyed up sets for, well, they're kits for both sizes. So the square size you can see is this big, and it has 8 colors. You can see I'm starting on like a yellowy, kind of an orangey yellowy color. Whoops. And then there's also a 12 color version, which is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And it's a long rectangle with 3 suns in it, and it has 24 stripes. And so with a 12 mini skein set, you get to use the colors twice. It is beautiful. But here's my yarn basket. How pretty is that? So you can see the yarn that I've used so far. In my excitement, I guess, to dye up these kits, so this 8 color pattern, the square pattern, actually uses micro skeins. It uses only 10 grams of each color. And I ended up dyeing 9 colors. So I thought, which one am I going to leave out? I'm not sure. And so you can see this pink color right here, I actually decided to leave out, which is so pretty. Sad that it didn't make the cut, but I love, like, this color is one of my favorites. I love oranges, so I wanted to leave all the oranges in. And then it goes into these greens and yellows. I couldn't leave those out. So I thought, well, and I really liked the color I was going to start with, which is this kind of purpley mauve-y color. And it reminded me of just like when the sun rises and you're just in that dark, when you start out completely dark in the morning and the sun rises and you get just interesting colors. I really wanted to lean into that, more of a dark color and not start with a neon. I love the way it's turning out though. This is, so like I said, this is a test knit. It will be released maybe the middle of June or so. It's a really fun pattern, and it's really versatile because you can use different colors. You can pull from your stash, which is fine, but you can also use advents if you have bits of advent skeins left over. You know, I dyed up some kits, so there's just really a lot of options with this, and it's just fun, kind of a retro sunshine pattern. But what I think I'll do with this square, on the front of the pattern, of course I don't have the pattern with me, but what Ambah did with her square is she folded it in a triangle and then tied it around her neck like a bandana, and it was really cute. So I should also mention that I used an undyed skein of yarn, which is the natural color in my shop. And the reason I did that is because I thought it would make a nice contrast with these neons, but then also because I wanted to share a more cost-effective way of these colors, of just stretching these colors. And I think using undyed yarn is actually one of the most cost-effective ways to stretch yarn, especially if you're marling them together, holding them double. In this case, you use, I think it calls for 1 full skein of yarn, and it's knit, the knitting method is intarsia, which is basically just dropping 1 strand of yarn and then picking up the next color and just knitting across with it, which means that you're splitting a full skein of yarn into 2, because each side has the main color. So as you see here and here, so I'm using 1 ball of yarn to knit this side, 1 ball of yarn to knit this side. But so far it's been really great. I have made a mistake with this orange color. I haven't knit it, I think I skipped a couple of rows. I do it while watching TV at night and just kind of got to an exciting part and just skipped over the pattern. So the pattern wasn't wrong, it was my fault. And I decided not to frog back. It'll be fine. So that is a test knit that I'm working on right now. The pattern will be released mid-June. And Ambah is releasing this for her summer solstice knit along. And so if you go on Instagram and you look for the hashtag Neon Sunshine, you can see what everyone else is knitting. And yeah, it's just a nice, this is such a nice bite-sized knit. It's a small project. Obviously you can knit a much longer shawl. It's a rectangle with 3 suns. Beautiful. It is gorgeous. But yeah, if you want to join the knit along, check this out. And it's been a really, really fun test knit. So that's what I have mostly been working on currently. But other than that, that is really all I've been working on. In the shop, I have been working on so much. The newest thing that I'm really excited about is that I decided to take the plunge and add a monthly mini skein subscription to the shop. And I was really excited to do this, but I've been pacing myself work-wise because I loved doing clubs before I took a break, and I just didn't want to overextend myself this time. And so I kind of worked it out on paper in my schedule and figured out I could do it. And so what I'm going to do is the mini skeins are in the shop right now, and they will be, the June orders will be up until the end of May, and then they'll switch over, and then July's will be available for pre-order. I'm so excited about them. On a selfish note, and I feel bad for anybody else who might be in this predicament, but on a selfish note, I actually have a blanket I was crocheting using the mini skeins from the club. So you have your choice of a sock weight or DK weight. And I was using the DK weight to knit a granny, I guess a granny stripe blanket basically. And it is unfinished because I stopped dyeing the clubs. So selfishly, I really needed to start the mini skein club again. But I'm really excited to start them again. And so those are in the shop right now. I'm really excited about those. And then next month, what I will do for July is the monthly mini mystery club will be in the shop. But then also I will stop doing my current format of putting monthly colorways in the shop during my shop update. And those will also be a monthly mystery club for a one-time purchase or a subscription, your choice of base. And that's nice for you because you can get exactly what you want as far as base goes. And then I know exactly what to dye. And I like mysteries. They're kind of fun. So I hope y'all are excited about that. I'm really excited. And yeah, it's just a really nice thing to be able to be dyeing again for me. I'm really excited about it. So I've been doing that. I've been dyeing advents and winding advents, and that's been really fun. Fun to see them continue to go forward and see the colors just evolve, and it's so beautiful. I do have a few more of those in the shop in case you're interested, and I am dyeing less than I have in the past. So in the past I have had enough, I think, for everybody who has wanted one, and I've had some last minute availability with some in-stock calendars. I'm not going to have that this year. So if you've been kind of on the fence about it, just know that I do have a limited quantity of those this year. And that is about it. Like I said, during this podcast at some point, I will be having an update Friday, June 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will send out a newsletter if you are signed up. And if you're interested, I do have a link below in case you want to sign up. Other than that, that is all I've been working on. I hope your May has been going really great. I hope you're having fabulous weather. I hope it's not too hot, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, not too cold. I can't even imagine anything being cold right now because it is so warm. No complaints though. My favorite time of the year. I love, love warm weather. So I hope y'all are doing great. I hope you're enjoying your crafting, and I truly appreciate you spending this time with me. I will be back again in another month to share what I have been working on. Until then, I will see you next time, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.